Hello, folks. This hangout on air is live. Tonight, we are going to examine Chimay Trappist Fathers White Cinq Cents. Oh, look, you have a different label. Now,
yeah, this is the old label, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the new one. So this beer could be kind of old. Let's see if there's a date.
I'm trying to get this glare off this bottle. Okay, because I got that lamp. Well, I have the white label with the gold, and you have the gold label with the white.
I can't make out really what it says on this little, there is some kind of freshness code right here, but frankly, I can't make it out. And it is in some kind of code, a letter, a couple of numbers, and it's blurry.
We'll try to work on that in a little bit. I'm in Louisiana beer reviews, and this is Maria Devon.
Hello.
I said it right. Because I used to say Devon, huh?
I don't mind. I didn't correct you all those times because it's just people don't say it right.
Devon. Terrio, Mulva Hill.
You corrected me first time. I know Mulva Hill is hard, right? Terrio was easy because there's no extra symbol or syllable in Terrio, right? It was just from Therio to Terrio.
Right.
But Tom Mulva Hill, that's a little harder. And I've been practicing because if I say it fast, it doesn't sound like I'm trying to say it right. So here we go. Tom Mulva Hill.
Mulva Hill.
Mulva Hill. See, there it is. You gotta say it Southern because he's from the South. Tom Mulva Hill.
Yeah,
That's it.
Well, wait. Now he's from Southern California, not exactly the South. All right, but anyway.
Oh, I thought it was from down south because I find if I try to say it that way, say it more Southern, it's easier. Otherwise, I end up with a hill, Mulva Hill. That's wrong.
No, I think that's right. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
We'll do a video on pronunciation one other time, I guess.
And someday I'll tell you my maiden name, and none of you will pronounce that.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Well, okay, Chimay White. This is the second. We were supposed to have some other people joining us, but like Tanya said, she might have to go to this event in San Francisco, and she's going to try to join us. John is at dinner. He's going to try to rush back. Jean-Pierre, I thought, was joining us. Eric's got band practice, and I can't answer for the other people. It says 8% alcohol, golden hue, rare balance of mellowness and bitterness. You get it in the 33 centiliter bottles and the 750 centiliter. We have the 33. Says serve at 40. Oh, never mind. That's tilt your glass at 45-degree angle. Okay, we'll look at that in a minute. 1966, they came out with Cinq Cents 500. I don't know why they call it 500, which goes by the name of Chimay Trappist. So 50. This is the 50th anniversary of this beer. 1982, they started offering it in the 750 milliliter or 75 centiliter bottle. And in 2001, they started offering this beer on tap. It's brewed in Belgium by Trappist monks. And they say it should pair well with a cheese called, and I've never heard of this cheese, and I've never had it. It's called, let me go back to the Chimay White. It's called Pot to Pre cheese.
Nice.
Pot-au-Pre cheese, which looks like a hard, crumbly golden.
I haven't had that. I did try their La Premiere, La Premiere cheese, and that was really good. Yeah,
there's a place in Metairie that has their cheeses, but I never bought it because I'm scared the cheese would be melted by the time I get home or it's too soft.
Well, I think they are soft. Don't they make just the soft cheeses, or no?
I really don't know. I'm looking for a date, guys. Belgium. Oh, here we go. It says, mine says L15-166. So what is that telling me? The 166th day of 2015? Okay. Sounds okay.
Yours says 15. Huh? I don't think mine says 15. Hold on. I can't really see mine. I think mine says 12.
Uh-oh.
L12-219. Hold on.
It's okay.
Turn this light on here.
It's 8% alcohol, so it should probably be okay.
Yeah, L12, 219. So L must be the day? Because there can't be an L month, right? Or is L the 12th letter?
I don't know what the L is, but so yours must be 4 years old. Well,
Yep.
that'll be interesting, I think, to look at an aged one. I do aged beers that are above 8% alcohol anyhow. I have a bunch.
I don't think it's any of the worse for wear. To tell you the truth, I just had one little sip, and it's got a nice nose. It's got a lively nose. It doesn't smell dead or stale. I'm not smelling anything that I would say is oxidation. I wish I had looked at the bottle. Like if you're gonna really, take this seriously, first thing you do is examine the bottle. I should have been looking for that date first, and then
Keep talking.
okay. I should have been looking for that date first, and then any evidence of anything amiss inside the bottle, like a ring or if the bottle had been stored improperly or anything like that, any kind of stuff along the neck of the bottle. And basically that's why you examine your bottle before you open it. I didn't, because I trust the beer, I trust the brewer, and I don't think that it's too old to be drunk.
No, if it was Bud Light, we'd worry.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny real fast? Giant Space Monkey was telling me, he says, I'm watching your Budweiser video and I'm drinking all these Budweiser beers. I really love that classic beer flavor. I said, Giant Space Monkey. You can hear me now? Okay. I said, Giant Space Monkey, if you drink Budweiser, doesn't that mean that you have betrayed this great cause and that you have lost your right to ever drink, much less enjoy craft beer again?
No way, because the name of the beer is America.
That's what he said. I'm drinking America.
That's right.
I was giving him a hard time, but he understood what I was saying. And when I went to see them last year in Brooklyn, they were bringing me some really great. We were sitting around drinking some really great craft beers. So,
and really, it's not mutually exclusive. Like the idea that you prefer this style or that style and you just don't want to drink another style doesn't exclude you from your enjoyment of the beer that you do like. It sure doesn't exclude you from trying other beer, and it doesn't exclude you from remarking on whatever you think. Right?
Yeah.
If you think the other beer is, less desirable, it's okay to say so. But like, don't go up and deride someone and be like, I'm drinking Trappist ale and you've only got America.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Unless you just ribbon them a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, it's very interesting that you have that old label, and I posted that on Facebook about 2 days ago. All right, but anyway, let's look at my thing was so foamy. That's why I had to go get a towel, because it was foamy and it spilled a little bit. Look at that golden appearance.
And I love the idea that this is as old as it is, because when do you get a chance to try a beer that's been aged? That's something that most people invest in. They invest in this beer and they'll put it in a cellar for a few years. But, luckily I happened to happen across this one. And the other day in the shop, I actually told the fellow, I was looking for a Sophie, and he had all the 2016 Sophies out. And I said, do you have anything older in a Sophie? And he's like, well, yeah, I do. And so maybe he's putting out older stuff.
Yeah. There's a store about, just west of New Orleans. It's right within walking distance of the New Orleans city limits. I went in there 2 years ago and they had the Fuller's Vintage Ale. It comes in the box. And I don't know what, something told me, reach to the back. I don't know why, because in the front was 2014, the current vintage. I reached to the very back, 2007, 2008, 2009. They had the whole thing vertically lined up. Well, of course, I had to buy them all. and Fuller's Vintage Ale isn't exactly cheap. But I mean, how often are you going to run across somebody that's vertically lined up, back year to front year, Fuller's Vintage Ale? It's not going to happen too commonly, is it?
I don't know. It's, you know, I think it's fortunate when you find stuff in a shop like that. And the reason I spoke to the shop owner, which I seldom do, right, except to say hello and I'll take some popcorn too. I'm not a big chit chatter, but I thought I would tell him because it must seem comical to the guy, right? As all the customers come in, the first thing they do is pick stuff up and they start to look at it and look for the dates. And I thought it was just funny. I said, I want to tell you that I'm looking for something older, because isn't that funny? We're never in there looking for something older. I want beer that was bottled yesterday, you know?
Right, that's true. Well, I'm the same way, but sometimes I just forget to look at the date. And I've sometimes been mortified because it's not an 8% beer, and I get home and it's a 4.2% beer and it's 2 years old. Well, that's not going to be good. Look at the stick lacing. Are you getting the same thing?
I am. I have the Belgian lace, but I haven't drunk as much of mine. So in the tasting glass, right, it's like a sheet. You know, as the glass tips, it's like a sheet of lace and then it falls down. In the bigger glass, it'll cling like yours, right, and leave rings. Yeah, Belgian style lace is just something to look at.
Have you ever had the Chimay Doré, the gold?
No. And I would like to, because that's the lower alcohol one that they make. And I've never had it. I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, I can get it. It's only, I think, 4.2% alcohol. And then they make the Chimay Grand Reserve, which is oak aged. That's a special one, which I don't see often. Okay, well, let's go with the aroma. You hit the aroma first.
Okay, well, I would say, and I've already started drinking it, so I'd say that it smells crackery and there's plenty of spice on it. The phenols are there. They're you know, clove-like, and they're kind of softened from what I think the beer usually smells like. I think the ages maybe soften them a little bit. I'm not smelling any alcohol and I'm not smelling any hops. That's the other thing. This beer, when it's a little fresher, has a little bit of hop herbal on it, but I'm still getting the floral. And I think I've said that of those two characteristics of the hops, the floral seems to last. I mean, really last. If you get, you know, a beer that's older, you'll find that you'll notice that there's like an earthy hop floral in it, even long after any hop fruitiness or, you know, hop herbal has faded off. And there's a light little sweetness. So it just smells good. It smells darn good. It's not terribly fruity is all.
Well, I am picking up a lot of the same characteristics. I'm getting that, like you said, that cracker. I think you said cracker. And some mild spices and some, yes, some fruit. And, oh, I guess that's about it. You know, maybe this is a macro beer in the sense that it's sold all over the world. It's mass produced by the monks, but you know how this beer is really great, I think. So every experience I've had with a Chimay beer has been just elevated dynamite, you know?
It is. It's a tremendous beer, and it exemplifies the style. It exemplifies the triple. And it's just one of those classic beers that you can always go to. Like, if you were to take out your style guidelines and read them for this style of beer, this beer matches them. I mean, it's uncanny. And I think it's even listed. Is it listed under triple?
It might be. I'm going to go grab my book, 300 Beers to Have Before You Die. But I find the flavor is spicy. It's sweet, a little sugary. It's white bread. It's there's bitterness, and I don't know where exactly that's coming from.
The bitterness is from hops.
Yeah.
Like that little bitterness that finishes it.
Yeah.
That's from the hops. Yeah, Chimay Cinq Cent is one of the iconic beers. So in my guidelines, it lists this one as an example of this style of beer. Um, and basically, I guess what I'm missing is I'm missing like fruity esters from the yeast, I guess. I don't know. Well, maybe there's some pear. There's a little
Yeah,
pear.
right. That's what I couldn't put my finger on. The
Yeah.
pear. Maybe the kind of pears that you bake with.
Yeah, but it's kind of muted as compared to how it usually is. I don't think it's the same. I think that it being older, it's not as fruity.
Maybe. I've never had one that was 4 years old.
The other thing it's supposed to have is esters reminiscent of citrus fruit such as orange or lemon. And it does. But you know what I mean? You have to grab for that.
Yeah.
That's not as prominent. Like you have to, and that's the thing about the guidelines, at least what I found about reading them. Like it's not a big mystery once somebody tells you what it is. And I like that idea. And that's what these guidelines are all about, right? They'll tell you exactly what's supposed to be in that beer. And then all you have to do is observe it or observe its absence as far as tasting it.
Yep. Now they say here that the monks are reluctant to say too much about the raw materials they use, but I was able to discover over lunch in an inn in Forges-les-Chemins with the employees that barley comes from the Champagne region of France and is malted to the monk specification in Belgium, okay? Aroma hops come from the German Hallertau and the American Northwest, with the American Galena, which is what they use in Miller High Life, preferred for its robust bitterness. Yeah, and you'll notice Miller High Life has that type bitterness. They're given a dosage.
Galena is a cousin of one of the popular hops, and I knew it when I wrote it in a review, but now I can't think of it.
It says the beers are given a dosage of yeast and sugar to encourage a strong fermentation. The white is brewed with pale Pilsner malt, Cowder malt, Hallertau, and Galena hops. The color is orange peach. Yes, we see that, with a big citrus fruit aroma. Well, maybe we're not seeing that. A hint of spice.
I have like a fruit rindy, like whatever citrus fruit, and usually it's orange in this beer, right? It's orangey. It's more like a rind. You know what I mean? It's kind of dry, but still there. Still there, even 4 years later.
Yeah, and it says a dry finish balance between tart fruit and bitter hops. I think this man who wrote this book, Roger Protz, I think he hit it pretty close. This beer, I mean, my favorite is the Grand Reserve, which is what, a quadruple. But oh man, this beer, I don't think I ever had a Chimay that was lower than outstanding, an A+ score.
Me either. Me either. Any time I buy this beer, the consistency, the quality is above average. It's excellent. It's always excellent. Like, and if you go on to reviews, you'll seldom see a bad review of a Chimay, unless it's been improperly stored, you know, or something happened to it in transport. I love all their beers, and I have to say I'm a regular consumer. Like every time somebody wants to do a tasting, it's with Chimay. You know, anytime someone wants to learn styles, it's with Chimay.
Oh man, look, my bottle was $4.99 plus tax. I don't know what yours cost.
Around that, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was much more or less, but you know what I mean?
So yeah, you're going to pay about $5 a bottle. So a lot of people have a problem with that. You're not going to understand that a lot of people don't have money to just be buying, and you got to take that into account. But let's say, I'm going to say this. Let's say you're a person who can afford to buy budget beers, and that's usually what you drink, and you enjoy them. You would like to try some more exotic ones, but you just don't have the money. Let's say that twice a year or 3 times a year there's a special occasion like Christmas or a birthday or New Year's, and you really do want to spend a little extra for that special occasion, I would recommend the Chimay line for those special occasions, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. These beers, and they come in a gift pack with the three of them, the blue, the red, and the white, and a nice glass, usually around the holidays. And I happen to like the bigger size because I know I already like the beer. And I know everyone I'm going to pour for likes the beer. So I like the bombers. You can also buy them in the 750s. And it's perfect for the holiday table. I mean, each one of the beers in that gift pack, the red, the blue, and the Cinq Cent, will go marvelously on your Christmas table at any course. You'll be fine.
Yes, and I think, and another thing about those big bottles, they are not your normal 22-ounce bottle. No, they are 25.4-ounce bottles.
Are they? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Oh, yes. 25.4. So it's a better value. You're getting the full Monty. Hey, well, I think this beer that we're drinking tonight would pair so well with, like they said, cheese, right? I would like a lot of onion with it, maybe garlic. I'm thinking of perhaps garlic shrimp, grilled garlic shrimp, a salad with radish and some raw carrots and maybe a few raisins and some walnuts and maybe French dressing, perhaps. I don't know, but I think it would go well with something like that.
Now you've got my attention when you said walnuts. Yeah, I like this beer at brunch. You want to put on a brunch spread, everything from eggs to rice pilaf. It will go well with this beer, and it'll go well with dessert. As you go through your meal, your brunch, that's my favorite meal to pair with this beer. You'll find that it'll just go right through to pastry. It's just a lovely beer.
Brunch. Okay, yeah. Maybe some liver with grits and onions and maybe spinach. Yeah. And
Liver.
liver and grits, or maybe eggs Benedict.
Now you're talking. Omelets, crepes.
Yeah. Right. But not just one bottle.
No, and that's the thing. The beer drinks so easily. The ABV on this beer should just be like a little warming, a little friendly warmth, and you'll find in the good Belgians, it really is. That's just what it is. It's like they're not terribly strong, right? Like it's not like a liquor, and it's not as strong as a stout. Usually the triple isn't. Like this one is very demure at 8%. So it shouldn't blast you with any heat from alcohol, and it's just like a little friendly something to let you know, this is festive. This is a triple.
You nailed it. You said demure, and it is. I was trying some stouts, and a friend of mine, David Garlapede, we were talking about this narwhal that came out. He bought some narwhal from last year. We both remarked that it seemed acrid, or he was not too pleased with it. I found it was acrid, or almost tasted a little burnt. Not to say it wasn't good. I mean, I really liked it and all, but and it's 10.2, and I'm not scared of 10.2. You know me, I'm not scared of 10.2.
Yeah. Well, that acrid, I found out that that's a stringency associated with the Pilsner malt. Now, I won't go into the big long story about how I know that, but it's because of Prima Pils. I was drinking Prima Pils the other day, and I got right on the horn, as it were, and to ask, is this the same malt that I've had? And I named a couple other beers, and it's not. And the reason that there's a difference in it is because it has a little bit of astringency at the finish. And so if you're tasting like what you're saying is acrid in the pale beer, that could be astringency. If you're tasting that in the stout, like what you were describing, narwhal, that's a feature of that beer.
Yeah,
that little acrid, that little bitterness from the malt.
I understand that, but maybe I don't love that feature. Okay.
Yeah, but that's okay in a black stout, right? In a stout, it's oh yeah, okay. But in the in a pale beer, you would notice that a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm aging. Before we close this out, because we're not even 30 minutes, so we're not super rushed, but we're getting close. It's a shame nobody else could join us, but it's all right. We won't. Remember one night I did a video, no one joined me.
Ooh, were you upset?
The first time I was upset because they told me they were going to do it and they didn't show up, and I thought it was ugly. But and I remember you told me that was terrible. What happened? The second time, a few months ago, I wasn't upset because people literally could not get the beer. They could not get the beer. They said, "I cannot find it. I cannot find it." And then the one guy
I think you have to get a thick skin because I think like with a lot of people, and it's happened to me, with a lot of people, they just don't connect right then. You know what I mean? Like the doorbell rings, the phone rings, the soup boils over or whatever. And I mean, it's just like, I couldn't make it.
No, I don't get mad. And Paul, my friend Paul, he calls me every Thursday and he wants to talk about the video we made on Wednesday night. And he says, I couldn't join because the child slapped the other child and they were screaming. And my wife said, aren't you going to do something about it? And he was like, it's total chaos. I mean, he's got a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a baby. So he says, just
4 children. Yes, sir. That is busy.
says it's just not practical. I cannot do it because it's every time something crazy happens, and so, but he'll call me. I know he'll call me tomorrow and say, I can get Chimay. And one more thing, he's got that West Flatiron 12 bottle aging in that fridge of his in Texas going on 4 years. Now, that Westy 12 is going to taste good.
Yeah.
You pop it open.
And I've seen people open those and literally have epiphany. They're like, I've been waiting all my whole life to try this beer, and here it is. And they all do. They all get the same look on their face. And so that's why I want one too.
Well, Maria, it's the best beer I've ever had. And it is $14 a bottle now. $14 a bottle. You got to take that into account. But
it's also way more expensive. They were selling it in the brick a few years ago. It was like $80. I forget how many you got.
I bought a 6-pack. Actually, I bought 2 6-packs, but I had to return one to the store before the manager got fired. But it was $85 a 6-pack.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted back when. But I never broke down and bought it because I just was like, back then I didn't know any better.
Yeah, I got 6 beers and 2 of these glasses. I kept one glass and I gave the other glass to Paul, and he said, how much do I owe you? I said, just take it. Yeah. So
those are nice though. I mean, that is the little chalice that you're supposed to have with this beer. And I think those are attractive. I really do. I like them better, to tell you the truth. The Westy chalice is better than the Teku glasses because that has the big long stem, and I like those better.
Yeah. Well, we did a dynamite beer tonight, folks. And I'm going to say this. This is my last comment. If you've never had Chimay White, please, if you're a beer fan, if you love drinking beer, go out and buy the Chimay White, the Chimay Red, the Premier, the Chimay Grand Reserve, the Blue Cap. And if you are lucky like me, and you can get Chimay Doré, the 4.2% alcohol beer that the monks drink all day long while they're brewing and praying and doing charitable works, buy it. I'm telling you, if there's a beer better than this, there aren't too many of them. There are not too many of them. And what is your final comment? I mean, obviously, I would buy this again. I could drink it every day. I could not get tired of this beer. Okay.
I love it as much as you do. I think this is a tremendous beer. I've never had one this old. I can honestly say that even 4 years old, this beer is remarkable. And it's still what you might call cohesive. It hasn't fallen apart. It's changed a little bit, but it certainly has gotten better. And I will continue to buy it. Anytime anyone asks me to review it, I try to go out and get it.
It's awesome. Awesome. Hey, well, I appreciate you joining me. Next week we're looking at, I say we, it might be me, but we're looking at
Huh. We'll see.
oh well, we're looking at Goose Island Urban Wheat Ale 312. Oh well, you know, Goose Island was a craft beer company founded in Chicago in 1988. They were sort of like one of the, I don't want to say the pioneers. They weren't out there in 1979 like Sierra Nevada, but they were one of like the second wave. I would call them the second wave of craft brewing, the late 80s. They were bought out by Anheuser-Busch. I know that was controversial. We don't want to get into all that. But the Urban Wheat Ale is one of their flagship beers. It's been out, I think it's been out since the late 80s. And we're going to look at it. So whatever, you know, however you want to take it. So thank you, folks, for watching. And I appreciate you joining me, Maria.
You're welcome.
And y'all have a good, safe, and enjoyable evening.
Cheers.
Cheers. My beer is all gone.
Oh, mine's going to be gone soon.